Hello, guys, and welcome back to the channel. To my left or on your phone, it's right. We've got Joe. So, hello.
Hi Dan, how you doing?
I'm very well. You?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Got that Friday feeling, ready for the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. It's first Premier League game, home game in 23 years. I
Yeah,
mean, bet the excitement levels are up there.
yeah,
You looking forward to Sunday's game?
yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it, so I'll be watching it on Sky. But I
Mm.
cannot wait to see it, and I think one of the things I'm most looking forward to, actually, about the whole experience is going to hopefully, if Sky will be showing it, will be seeing McIntyre blasting around the stadium and seeing every single fan with their scarves and flags and just belting McIntyre out with all of their lungs. I think it's just going to the one of the big spectacles of the weekend is Forest announcing their first home game in the Premier League. I think it's going to be brilliant to watch.
Mm, definitely. If hopefully that will inspire the players to give that big views knowing that you're going to listen to that. It's just going to be unreal, and it will just announce Forest being back in the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly. I think I think if we've learned anything within the past few months of how the crowd can drive a team forward, is what we saw against Sheffield United in the second leg, where we were 2-1 down on the night. We were drawing 3-all on aggregate, and I think if it wasn't for the crowd being as loud as they were, I think we wouldn't be talking about playing Premier League teams
Mm.
this season. I think they carried the team through until extra time, and then all of a sudden bringing on the fresh legs saw the rest of the game out. So I have no doubt in my mind that the crowd will be on their absolute A game, and there will be 12th, 13th, and 14th man, and we'll do everything to be able to get a result out against West Ham on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. That's been the big trademark about our fan base this year, that they have been that 12th, 13th, and 14th man, and it got us through games, or it got us to win games, but it's been a massive thing. I think that will be the massive case on Sunday, especially hopefully that the nerves will be a lot more better than it was last week.
Yeah, definitely. I think we all knew going into last week's game it was going to be a bit of a culture shock. We knew it was our first game in the Premier League for 23 years. All the fans were going to be excited and nervous. Definitely all of the Forest players who are Nottingham born and bred and Forest through and through. You knew it was going to mean a lot to them, and they were all going to have a bag of nerves and trying to play well. And then, especially since we've got a brand new team who are all starting to gel together, it was always going to be a difficult game. So hopefully we can take the positives, because there were positives out of last week's game. We can take those positives and build on those, and then start working more as a team, gelling together as individuals, and start showing what Forest are made of, and start climbing up that table.
100%. It's a good thing as well. They would have had 2 weeks now. Since the Valencia game, that they will have them 2 weeks just to that proper Jonah. Going into the Sunday's game, would you keep that sort of same level against what we played against Newcastle, or would you change it? I know McKenna's out injured, which
Yeah,
becomes a sharp, but
yeah, it's a shame about McKenna. I think he is always going to be on the starting lineup any game that we play, home or away, Premier League or in a cup tie. I think he's always going to be one of the first names on the team sheet. So it's a shame that he's out with a potential injury. I hope it's only a small niggle that he's picked up with training, and he'll be back for the game away at Everton next week. But I think the team going into this game on Sunday, I'm kind of torn whether it will be a team that starts with the starting 11 that we had with Newcastle, or if it will more be representative of the team that we finished that game with. Whether we'll be starting players like Oral Mangala in the midfield, whether we'll give Taiwo Awoniyi a full run out from the first whistle. I'm not sure if we'll try and play into some of the new signings, give them a great run out now that they've had more time to gel, or if we'll do what we did against Newcastle, which was kind of play all the players, as many that we could, who were part of the squad and knew the system last year in the Championship, so that we can try and build confidence on them knowing how we play, and then try and build around that. So I'm not sure which way it'll go. Which way do you think it will go, Dan?
I'm a bit in between. Like you said, to be fair, like it's either play your back three and either bring Billy Kune, who's been played as a right wing back, as a right sided centre half, or
Yeah,
you played Meepso in there, who's used to how we do play, or you do go to about four and
yeah,
play as we ended against Newcastle. My only concern is the width because we have got Martin and Brennan, but I mean Lingard can play out there, but we haven't got really much more options with the width.
yeah,
So that's maybe like flip side to it if we do
yeah.
change it up.
I think going on that as well, with McKenna being out, being one of the people that you can rely on the most in that centre back role, not being in the starting lineup, it then might mean we have to try and play a bit more defensive in that back line, just because the wing backs can't push up so much, knowing they've got the likes of McKenna stood behind him, who's going to be able to stand anyone who's trying to run in up and give them a chance to get back. So we'll have to see. I'm purely guessing at the moment. I'd like to say that we'd still play a five at the back with two wing backs that would be pushing up, but at the same time, I don't think I would be too surprised if we played more of a four at the back and then try and play three central midfielders just to try and take more of a control over that midfield, which was a weakness that we had against Newcastle.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully McKenna has some of that juice that got him fit for that back end of last season.
Cooper's magic sponge. He will always say that the players out for a couple of months and then 2 weeks later they're back in. So we've seen it work wonders last year in the Championship and in some of the FA Cup games. So we know that sponge will be coming out and will be straight on whatever injury that McKenna's picked up, and hopefully we'll see him back in a couple of weeks or so.
Definitely. I mean, the game was well against West Ham. It's been built up as a Lingard derby, a bit of rivalry. I mean, Antonio came out and spoke about he's not going to celebrate if he scores. So it's just two players really near enough that play for each other clubs, but it's building up to be a really big affair.
Yeah, I think it is. I think the Jesse Lingard situation that's happened there is definitely going to build it up. I think before that kind of situation, a lot of West Ham fans would have been in that camp where they were saying, "Oh, we're really happy that Forest have come up. We can't wait to see them come to our ground and wait to go to the City ground." They would have been in that camp, and then as soon as the Jesse Lingard news came out and that he would pick us over them, all of a sudden the tables turned. They flipped their allegiances over, and it sounded like we kind of rattled them, and then we just kept on riling them on and just egging them on to keep going a bit further with their hatred. So I think it's going to definitely be a big atmosphere on Sunday. West Ham are going to give it a big push. Anytime Lingard's on the ball, I'm sure they'll be saying something or be giving him a boot. But then on the flip side, if Antonio does anything when he gets announced to come out to the ground, if he's on the ball, I'd like to think we give him nothing but respect, because I have a lot of fond memories of Antonio playing for us. I have a lot of respect for him. And when we weren't in the Premier League, he was always someone that I kept an eye on. He was always in my fantasy Premier League squad because I just had so much respect and admiration for him. So I'm sure there's a lot of other Forest fans who will be like that as well. And I respect what he's come out and said, where he's not going to celebrate because he has too much respect for us. And I think that's reciprocated throughout the fan base.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more with that one. I mean, I always remember when he first signed for us, and I kept moaning about him against Blackpool, then he went and scored. And since then, it's always been that sort of reverse psychology on him. And I always remember that game against Walsall when we went 3-1 down, and within 5 minutes of him coming on, and we were 3-all.
Yeah.
Thinking like that, we played game after, and yeah, I got complete respect for him. And
I think it's going to be like that because I think there's a couple of players, those him and then Matty Cash, I'm sure will be exactly the same when we played Villa. I loved Matty Cash when he was with us, and I was really sad to see him go, but I knew it was inevitable. I knew he was too good to be playing in the Championship, especially when he took up that right back role and made it his own. He really was a standout in that role in the Championship. So I think I'm really looking forward to getting a chance to see some of those players again at the City grounds. Obviously not in the Garibaldi, but we'll take it how it comes, and I think it's going to be a great experience for both of those games.
Yeah, all day long. What's your score prediction for Sunday?
So we were having a chat about this earlier. We were just on stream not too long ago where we're recording this, and I said I'm completely torn between my head and my heart. Every game I always have a contradiction feeling. So my head says I think it'll either be a 0-0 snooze fest. I think our defence will, even without McKenna, we might be able to stand up because we showed a lot of good resilience at Newcastle, against Newcastle at St James's. The fact that it took an absolute screamer from their centre back on the edge of the box to break the deadlock, and then we were chasing the game, I think shows that we've got enough defensive capability to try and keep us in games. So I think we might see a 0-0 where we're still not found our feet with the attack yet, or we might see something like a 2-0, 2-2, where we do still keep the clean sheet, but then we start to get some goals. I want to see a Wanye get on the score sheet so he can start to silence some of the critics that he's got on social media, where they're saying, why has he not scored a goal yet when he's only played one competitive game and he's featured in a couple of friendlies? I want to see him get a goal and build his confidence up massively. And then just because we're playing West Ham and there's that rivalry, I'd love to see Jesse Lingard score a goal and then just run over to the away end and just bring back one of his dances that is replicated on TikTok.
Yeah.
And a full live rendition of that. I think that'd be brilliant. But what's your scores prediction?
I mean, talking to a lot of fans today, a lot of them are wanting a 1-1, which won't be a bad result. I mean, it gets us on the mark, gets us a goal. I don't know. That's what I think in my head, but my heart thinks that we're going to win 2-1 for some reason. I think, I mean, like you said, and Rooney scoring will be good for him to get confidence and all that, and get him going. I mean, glimpses of him, what I've seen of him, he has got the talent to be a success there.
Yeah.
Right side of that, I think, I don't know, I just got a feeling either Brennan or Sewage will score one. And I just say, like you said about Lingard, just to score and just to go into the way end and just thank their crowd.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what my head of Mark's saying. It's one of them ones.
Yeah. I think it's one where we're all going to want to win that game. And I think, especially being home games, that's going to be our yardstick for the season, is how well we do at home. I think we'll all be wanting to win that game, but we should hopefully know in our heart of hearts that a draw to get us off the dreaded 0 would still be a result that I'd take, especially against a team like West Ham, who realistically are playing in the top half of the league. And if you were to break the division down into mini leagues, they're not in our mini league. I'd say they're pushing in, trying to get Europe, but realistically trying to make sure they stay in that top 10. So a point I'll take and I'll be happy with, but I'd like to see us make our stamp of authority in the Premier League, get that win, and say, yeah, we're here. The City ground is going to be a difficult place to go for any team to come and try and grind a result out of, and just make it a statement of the season.
Definitely, and it's that old cliche they say about winning your own games and picking up whatever they can away from it. And I know a lot of teams that came up always made their own ground a fortress. So it'd be good for us to actually make it like we did do last season, make it a fortress, and knowing that teams like come here and be at their absolute best defensively to stop us.
Yeah. I think, I mean, we've already seen that last week with the two teams that came up with us, Fulham and Bournemouth. Fulham grabbing an absolutely brilliant 1 point against Liverpool, drawing 2-2. And then Bournemouth, I think, against all odds, winning 2-0 against Aston Villa at home. I think pretty much every man and his dog that I've seen commenting on how they think the season's going to go, they've all written Bournemouth off and said, oh no, they're going to finish bottom. So for them to win 2-0 against Aston Villa, who are a club who, again, I'd put them in the same league as West Ham. They should be easy, comfortable top 10 pusher for Europe. That was a massive statement from them. So I'd like to see us try and replicate that as well against West Ham.
Yeah, definitely. Completely agree with that. Yeah, I'd like to thanks for Joe for coming on.
Not a problem. Thank you very much for having me on, Dan. It's been a pleasure.
It's all right. Do you want to say your socials?
Yeah, so as you can see on the screen here, we've got another YouTube channel and a Twitter page called Forest Fans Hub. It's run by myself and my really good friend Ed, who's Ez_sense, and we run Forest Fans Hub just as a channel for all fans, because both of us are unfortunately not able to get to all the games this season. So we run it as a channel and a platform where everyone can get involved. We like to do streams before the game, after the game, in the midweek, where we just invite anybody who's in our chat to come on the stream and just have a chat about anything at all, whether it's football in the Premier League, football back in the dreaded Championship and lower leagues, anything about Forest, or just in life in general. Just give us an update on how you're doing on, because we've got a really tight-knit community of Forest fans, and we've seen it on a lot of different channels where everyone's getting involved. Everyone's always talking with each other on different streams and YouTube channels. So we just wanted to make it as kind of like a central place where everyone can always come, have a chat, always be uplifting and make everyone's day a bit better. So yeah, Forest Fans Hub, follow us on Twitter on that handle, and then follow us, give us a subscription on YouTube, and anytime you want to have a chat and have your say about anything Forest, we'll be on a live stream and you'll be able to join us.
So, looking at that, guys. So I'd like to say thank you for watching and goodbye.